Callum, great to see you again. We met you a few months ago coming in to the club to oversee the pathway, and here you are now stepping up to be involved with the first team. So your initial thoughts on this opportunity?
Thank you. Really excited, first of all. It's very humbling as well to be working with this club. What we'd always talked about was joining the pathway up with the first team, and now there's a really good opportunity to make sure there's a flow through right the way from the first team to the under-12s. So for me, from the perspective of kind of zooming out on the whole rugby operation, it's brilliant that we can start to put those things into place so that that transition can be seamless in the future. And I know one of the things Mike and the board have talked about is having Oldham lads playing for the first team, and this role and joining those two elements of the club up is a logical step to building the scaffolding to allow the club to do that.
And we've actually seen that in the last week or so with Marcus Geener signing a new one-year extension and speaking very passionately about what it means to him, and I guess that's what we want to see more of, as you say.
Absolutely, and this town has punched well above its weight in producing players over the years, and we're still doing it, and there's a reason why lots of the Super League clubs come to Saddleworth. Played in the under-12s final the other day and there was lots of scouting presence, so we want to make sure we can build the infrastructure to allow that to happen without us having to manufacture something as the time comes. So this is a logical step in that progression.
So the coaching team for 26 is still being built. Mike's been very open about that on the boundary line. When the right man comes along, he will come in. But we do know now we have got you, who's going to be working with the first team as assistant coach.
That's correct, yeah. And my remit will be to work with the first team. One of the things I do in the day job is all about looking at efficient ways for teams to win games. So my focus will be working with the players, but also looking at how we most efficiently do well in games. And again, going back to that zoom out piece, is making sure that those principles exist all the way through the pathway.
And tell us a bit about you, for those who are watching this, seeing you for the first time, or perhaps just think, oh yeah, that's that guy I saw on the boundary line a few months ago. Give us a bit of insight into your background.
Yeah. So I played. I was born in Carlisle and played up in Cumbria. Carlisle Border Aid has just vanished as I was making debuts, so ended up at Workington and then York. Played against Mike. In fact, I tried to intercept one of his passes and failed miserably. And then I played over in France for a couple of years, and then I was based down in London working on development programs. I coached at London Broncos Academy, and then coached the Scholars in the old Division 2 as assistant to Tony Benson, who was a coach here for a couple of years. Then I moved. I went into high performance sports. I looked at Olympics, and then I ended up full circle back in football, where I was a very average goalkeeper as a child, but I've been working in football for 10 years. High performance, so looking at how academies are structured, looking at how teams most efficiently win games. I'm now working with FIFA, where I was previously head of analysis, so looking at how teams play in games, the shapes that they play, and all the things around how you win football matches. And since then I'm now leading our coach education programs around the world. So I go out and teach elite coaches how to get the best out of their players.
I'm fascinated by all that. I guess the key question would be, a big question which you probably can't answer, is how much of that from other sports can we bring in here to gain the best chance of success for Oldham?
I think there's loads. I say to football people all the time, the answer to football's problems aren't always from football, and the answer to rugby league's problems aren't always from rugby league. I suppose it's less about specifics and more about process. So how do we go about things, and how do we build the right infrastructure? So zooming out, a player can follow a pathway through a club, or zooming in, how do we play goal line defence to be the most efficient we can be, and what's the most efficient way for us to transition the ball? So less about specifics, but they're all invasion games. They're about fixing defenders and creating space. So on the technical side, there's a lot to come through, but more on the process. How do we go and build those systems so that the club can be as efficient as it can be?
As a final point, there's some great characters here, some big names, some very big characters. How are you going to be with all that?
I'm excited. I like big characters. I work with lots of them in the daytime. We've got some big characters, some big, some famous characters. So it's a pleasure to be around. Like my I'm learning all the time, and that's what I want to do here. So the bigger the characters, the more I'm going to learn. So yeah, dead excited. I'll be learning way more than anybody learns from me. That's I think how I approach life.
Great to see you, Callum.
Thank
Good luck
you.
with it all.
Thank you very much.